we try to encourage that, when our kids go on bus trips, we, ask them to keep to a minimum, no cell phones at the dinner table when you're eating meals. A lot of things, just that you lose that connection because you are so technologically oriented right now, and there's still a big thing to just getting to know somebody without that. So when I was playing too, we would try to go find at least our AAU teammates' high school schedules and go see them if we weren't all playing on the same night. Watch one of their high school games and show the effort that you support them, year round, because it is, now you'll go with your own teams and kind of lose contact a little bit. And so, I still have those friendships, and I'm a bit older than these two, so it is something that carries on.
Our last question, how can you keep motivating yourself to go to get your practices in and do the extra work and keep getting better? How do you keep that motivation?
That's inside. You gotta drive yourself, because nobody's gonna drive you. You know what I mean? It's totally up to you how far you go and what you do. So you have to have that drive and determination, and that feeling that you get. For me, when you do something and you're really proud of it, or just the overall that's what drives me. You know what I mean? Just never be satisfied. You don't have to go solve the world's problems, but just know what your goals are, and just don't let anything, just, you know what I mean? Just know it, and just know that this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say, make sure you keep your goals in mind. You can have a giant goal that you want to attain, but if you make little goals for yourself, it's gonna keep you motivated the whole time. Just little things. So.
I don't like to lose. I'm sorry. I want to play and I want to win and I want to help my team. That's all the motivation you really need, honestly. And if you don't have that, then why are you there?
I was trying to remember why I started. When you love basketball as a kid, you live for recess because you can play knockout.
And it's going to be hard to remember sometimes.
Yeah.
You have to dig back.
Yeah, when you get to practice and, coach says get on the line, you might forget, but just try and always remember, it's worth it. I did this for a reason. It's worth it.
And mentally you're going to picture just throwing your jersey down and walking out of the gym, but you just do it.
Yeah, you just kind of got to tough it out.
They feel that way when we do Sweet 16s.
Yeah. I felt that way when we did Sweet 16s.
You think it's bad now? It's nothing. Keep playing.
Yeah.
It's nothing. That's a jog in the park. No.
I'm sure Coach can probably talk better on this. It's not always rainbows and unicorns. You know what I mean? You have to kind of go through it a little bit, but it just makes you tougher. You've got an outstanding record and you've got great accolades, but it's not easy. You got to work for it. So.
There's a saying that I don't make any of this up myself. If it's important to you, you'll find a way. If it's not, you'll find an excuse. And I'm sure you've all seen that before, and it's so true. And I find myself doing it sometimes. It's midnight, and there's one more film that I should watch, and I'm like, but I'm tired. Well, that's my excuse. Go to bed. Or is it important to watch that next film? Yeah, it is. So I'm going to find a way. I'm going to find some caffeine, or I'm going to go walk outside when it's 0, to wake myself up, whatever it might be. It's the same thing for you guys as players. And Ashley and everybody's talking about goals. The one thing that I would say about goals is write them down. And that doesn't mean the notes portion of your phone. It means actually take a pencil or a pen and a piece of paper, which is now a lost art. I know that. They do still sell paper in the stores. My son had to buy it at Target for school, so I know it's still there. So we know it. But write it down, because there's studies that will show that when you put pen or pencil to paper and write it down, it commits it to memory a lot more. And then I encourage our kids to put it up in your bathroom, on your mirror, cut it out, tape it up there, and so at least you're seeing it every morning, and you're reading those goals, and I wouldn't make a ton of them, make it attainable, but you're seeing it every morning or every time you go in there, and so it's that constant reminder of this is why I'm doing that. And as Christine said, there's going to be times, there's going to be setbacks. Hopefully it's not an injury, but whatever it might be, but if you have it written down and you're seeing it every day, it's going to be that reminder to you that you committed yourself to doing it.
And the very first full circle, Jill actually mentioned it at the very beginning, is staying positive. If you get down, if you have a setback, make sure that you're keeping a positive mindset and you'll get through it.
Ladies, thank you for coming out and sharing your wisdom with us on this Saturday. I know you have better things to do, and we appreciate your time.
Broke all of the kids.
If you all want to stick around, you're more than welcome to. If you have something else to do, I understand. Now, introduce the lone gentleman for the afternoon for the morning. This is Byron Bundy. Byron's going to talk to you about sports and athletic business. I've known Byron. I've known his parents. I went to school with his parents. I've known him his whole life. He's actually family. So, take a few minutes, talk about your business.
Okay. We don't know what I'm talking about here, but let's go for it. A little background on me. I'm from Columbia. Played at Hickman. Played basketball and football in high school. From there, went to North Central Missouri Junior College in Trenton, like up the way, up in northern Missouri. Played really well there. I got hurt. I tore my fucking fascia in my foot, and it kind of derailed my career from where I thought I was gonna go. Ended up at Missouri S&T on a fluke, playing Show Me State game, and I dropped like 45 on him, thanks to this guy. He passed me the ball every time down the court, and I scored like 21 straight points. The coach was there, and they signed me after the game, so thank God for that. And then I just battled injury another year, moved to Atlanta to play down at Southern Polytech, had another surgery, came back home and finished my degree at Mizzou. And I had to kind of grow up a little bit and make a decision for myself to stop playing basketball, because it was either you're not going to the NBA, so what are you doing? Waste another year trying to play, or focus on business and what I'm going to do after basketball, which is where I'm going to take this conversation. Focus on you and focus on what you can do outside of playing basketball, because at the end of the day, one day the ball's going to stop bouncing. You're not going to be able to play forever. Everybody has to stop at some point. I'm sure all these ladies played at some point, and now they moved on to something different, whether that's coaching or teaching or whatever it may be. For me, it's sports management. So I deal with professional athletes. I started off my senior year. I had like 3 internships while I was in Mizzou. So I had a full course load and 3 internships. Deerfield Sports was one of them. And then I worked for Jeremy Macklin and Sean Weatherspoon, football player. So, I mean, I did everything for those guys. Like, I'm talking about from getting dry cleaning to food to whatever it is I had to do. Like, I ran their youth camps, and that's kind of where I got an appreciation for giving back. Was doing all their camps and making cold calls with sponsors and just locking myself in my room. And I just took the same energy that I always put in basketball, which was getting up at 6 a.m. and going to the gym to get shots up. And staying up late, whether it's watching film or lifting weights or whatever it is, I took the same energy. Like, if I take the same hours I was putting into basketball, put that into work, then I know I'll be successful, because it worked for me for basketball. I mean, I went from being a little pudgy 5th grader to the next thing you know, I'm one of the best players in the state. So it took that work ethic to get there. So I took the same work ethic from basketball and put that into my career, and it's paid off so far. I went from working for J-Mac and Spoon to start my own company fresh out of college, and I kind of bit off a little more than I could chew. So I kind of took a step back. I saw my first client. He played for the Minnesota Vikings, and then he got cut, and so there was no more money coming in. So I kind of bounced around a little bit until I found an opportunity with Goodwin Sports out of Seattle, and just through my connections and my network, which is why it's so important to be friendly to everybody, because you never know what you're going to need. Whether it's a coach, one of my assistant coaches from Atlanta, his best friend was the legal counsel for Goodwin Sports, and he gave me an opportunity. Like, spent all the money I had to fly to Atlanta to meet with them for lunch, and it's just like that dedication that you have to whatever it is you're going to do, whether it's playing basketball or your grades or whatever. You got to be willing to sacrifice for it. So flew down there, met with him, started working for him for free. Did that for almost 2 years. And finally turned me loose. I got certified as an agent 2 years ago. And signed my first client my first year out at 24. So that was pretty solid for agent standards. That usually doesn't happen. And now my client, he's in Turkey. He was in Turkey last year. He'll probably be in Israel this year. Played for the Timberwolves this summer in the summer league. And it's just, I'm blessed situation, but it's because of what I learned when I was playing basketball, when I was your age. The work ethic and applying what I learned from playing basketball into business, that really gave me a leg up on everybody else. And other athletes didn't want to do their homework, and I was doing mine. I had a 3.8 GPA, and just, I worked. And that's what you got to do off the court. You got to work. You got to use your network. You got to know everybody. You got to shake everybody's hand and just let people know who you are. And be more than just about basketball. And that's what I tell the clients that we work with. Like, even our NBA guys, like, be more than a basketball player. There's something else to you that you like to do, whether it's design clothes or I don't know what you guys like to do, but whatever it is, like, do it. And, like, let that be you, too. Don't just be a basketball player. I've seen a lot of guys, which is why I wanted to get into sports management. I've seen a lot of guys that are great basketball players, but they don't have the conscious ability to be like, oh, this is going to end one day. I need to be about something more than basketball. So when it ends and everybody else around them knows that it's over with, except they can't accept it. You know what I mean? And that's just the saddest thing to me to watch is a guy who's 26, 27, still trying to play basketball. And it's like, oh, give it up. Like, I get emails and phone calls every day from guys who, can you help me get overseas? Can you help? I can't. I'm sorry. Like, go get a job. You know what I mean? Like, that's, I don't say it as rude as I'm saying it right now. Like, that's what I think. But I'm telling you that because they didn't take the time out to figure out what else they were about besides basketball. It was all ball, all day. Ball is life. Like, ball is life, but it's not all of life. You know what I mean? Like, let it be a percentage of life. You know what I mean? And just learn what else you like to do, and then ask for help. If I would have never asked my coach for help, I would have never had the opportunity to meet the people at Goodwin Sports and start working with them. And I've had many people who've given me a handout or lent me a hand to get to where I am now. And now that I'm in the position that I'm in, I want to give back. So that's why me and Steph, we've been doing camps this summer. We did a free camp for like 115 kids. Just because we want to present the same opportunities that we had growing up to the next generation and be role models for them. So when you see a younger kid that needs some work, help them. You know what I mean? Whether it's at the gym that you're at your high school, wherever, somebody that's less fortunate than you, whether it be skill-wise or money-wise, you can help them out any way possible. Help them. You know what I mean? Because that's what's going to come back to you. Because you're going to need somebody at some point. And I mean, you can call it karma or just be a good person. You know what I mean? Just help people, and you'll get it back. And be willing to sacrifice. Like I said, I work for free. I'm pretty much still working for free. Like, I get commission, but like it's few and far between. I mean, I get paid like once or twice a year. But if you have a passion for what you're doing, it doesn't matter. So find what you love to do that you would do for free and go after it. And as far as basketball, I mean, you just gotta work. You gotta work at it, man. I mean, I hit my high school at 6 a.m. every single day, getting shots up. Before school, before anybody else was there, I would skip lunch on some days and just go to the gym and shoot. And go to the gym and work on stuff I sucked at. And I still can't dribble, but Steph helps me. Like, I still work on it because it's just like, you know what I mean? Like, but I became a great shooter because I shot every single day, all day. That's what I wanted. I wanted to be a great ball player, so you got to work at it. But yeah, I don't know where else to go with it. You guys got any questions?
Don't be bashful. Now I'm gonna wrap it up, but if you have questions, you want to talk to them personally, any of the panelists, feel free to do so now. Again, thank you all for your time. It's very much appreciated.
If y'all got any questions for me, I mean, I can give my email address, Twitter,
Mom,
whatever.
Dad, that includes you also. If you got
Anybody. Like, y'all need some help or something, and you're trying to do something, y'all need help, feel free to ask me. I'm glad to help where I can.
question you always want to ask the coach, if you want to ask your coach, now's your chance. Go ahead. Have at it.
Thank you guys again. Let's give a round of applause.